Hello students, welcome to Hari Chemistry. So today our topic is B.Tech First Year Chemistry, JNT as per JNT syllabus. The first chapter is molecular structure and theories of bonding. So in this topic, we will learn what is orbit and what is an orbital of basic concepts. Clear? Right. So here, what is an orbit? So what is orbit? What is orbit? And what is orbital? What is orbital? So what is orbit and what is orbital we will discuss. So orbit means nothing but a circular path. A circular path is present. Circular path is present where the electron is revolving around the nucleus is called as orbit. So what is orbit, student? So orbit is nothing but orbit is a circular path. Orbit is a circular path where the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So this is the nucleus which is having positive charge. So in this nucleus the protons and neutrons are present and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So here, this is the first orbit. So this is the first orbit. So this is the first orbit. So the first orbit we can denote as K, or we can represent as number 1. So that is the first orbit. So in this first orbit, only the s electrons are revolving in this first orbit here. So the s electrons, 2 s electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So here you can see this is the second orbit. This is the second orbit. In this second orbit, s electron and p electrons are present. S electrons and p electrons are present. So here the s electrons and the p electrons. So here, we have 6 p electrons here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 p electrons and 2 s electrons revolving in this nucleus. So this is the third orbit. This is the third orbit. So in this third orbit, here s electrons plus p electrons and d electrons revolving around the nucleus. So s electrons, p electrons and d electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So this is the fourth orbit. This is the fourth orbit here. In this fourth orbit, here s electrons, p electrons, d electrons and f electrons revolving around the nucleus. Okay, so that is an orbit. Okay, so orbit is a circular path where the electrons revolving around the nucleus. Right. So what is orbital? So orbital means nothing but the probability of finding of an electron. Probability of finding of an electron with maximum electron density. Maximum electron density in a three-dimensional space or region. Is called orbital. So what is orbital means nothing but here. So the probability of finding an electron with maximum electron density in a three-dimensional space or region is called orbital. Okay. So for example, we have three axes. So x-axis, y-axis, z-axis and y-axis. So here, this we can assume. So this is the nucleus. So here this is the nucleus. So this is the orbit. So electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So here the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So what is orbital indicates? So this is a three-dimensional space. It means the electrons revolve in x direction, z direction or y direction. In this region where the electron density is maximum, then we can say it is a probability only. So not accurate. So it is probability of finding of an electron with maximum electron density in a three-dimensional space or region is called orbital. Okay, clear student? Right. So next, the second difference in orbit. Okay. So generally, orbit is a circular path. Orbit is a circular path, and it is non-directional, So because the electrons are revolving not only in x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. So the electrons are revolving in all the directions. So that's why here, so the orbits are non-directional. So this is very, very important point. So remember, so s orbital is also a non-directional. S orbital is also a non-directional, but the remaining p, d, f orbitals are directional. Clear? So the second point in orbital. So the orbitals are having so definite shape and these are directional. So please remember student, so except s orbital, the remaining remaining p orbital, d orbital, f orbital are directional, but s orbital is not directional. Clear? Right. Next, the third point is the maximum number of electrons in any orbit is given as 2n square. Clear student? So the maximum number of electrons in any orbit is given as formula 2n square. So for example here, so this is the first orbit. So here first orbit means nothing but we are using the formula 2n square. So 2n square means nothing but student. So here n is nothing but orbit size. That is the first orbit or second orbit or third orbit. So 2 into 1 square. So that is equal to 2. So that means only s electron. 2 s electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Right. So in second orbit, that is 2 into 2 square. So that is equal to 8. So means so s plus p. So means 2 s electrons and 6 p electrons. 2 s electrons and 6 p electrons are revolving in second orbit. So the third orbit, that is equal to 2 into 3 square. So that is equal to 18 electrons. So here, so 2 s electrons plus 6 p electrons plus 10 d electrons. So that's why it is 10 electrons of 10 d electrons and p6 electrons and 2 s electrons. So the fourth orbit, that is 2 into 2 square. So that is equal to 32 electrons. That means 2 into 4 square. That is equal to 2 into 16. That is equal to 32 electrons. 32 electrons here. So s plus p plus d plus f, that is equal to s2 electrons, p6 electrons, 10 d electrons and f14 electrons. So total number of electrons 32 electrons revolving in fourth orbit. Okay. So the maximum number of electrons in any orbit is given as 2n square formula. Right. So the maximum number of electrons maximum number of electrons occupy in an orbital is 2. So the maximum number of electrons can occupy in an orbital is 2 electron only. So whatever the orbital you can take, so each orbital means, for example, p orbital we have 3 sections, so means each orbital like px, py, pz. So the px orbital can occupy 2 electrons, py orbital can occupy 2 electrons. Each orbital can occupy the maximum number of electrons, 2 electrons only, right? So the fourth point is orbits are denoted as k comma l comma m comma n, so on, or so we can represent it as numbers, so integers 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, so on. So next, so orbitals are denoted as s comma p comma d and m. So s comma p comma d and m. So this is the difference between orbit and orbital. Okay, clear student?